My name is Zoe Wyatt, and I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar on social media strategy. Now, I just wanted to come in and quickly say hi. I'm coming to you from my home office in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, but I know we have an audience all over the world today. And in fact, business owners all over the world really are grappling with how to use social media marketing. So in order to maximize your time here today, I'm going to pop on over to a screen share presentation, a PowerPoint that I prepared earlier. So just while we flick across there, I will also let you know that we have my marketing manager, Christine Kaminiak, taking questions in the background. So if you have any questions at all, be popping them into chat. I want to make today as interactive as possible for you and really maximize your results. So social media strategy, how do you really maximize social media for your business? For those of you that don't know me, as I said, my name is Zoe Wyatt. I'm the social media marketing specialist, speaker, trainer, business mentor, and general internet entrepreneur. My background is I'm actually a marine biologist by training, and a lot of you will be saying, what is a marine biologist doing teaching us social media marketing? Well, my experience in marketing came when I started my first online business back in 2003. It was in environmental consulting in a very niche type of product and service. I believed, like all of you do, that I offered a great service. I had a fabulous business and I really cared about my clients. But I found it incredibly difficult in such a niche market to connect with the right people, the people that were really going to have an impact in terms of building my business and that I could assist the most. So I turned to the internet that was somewhat in its infancy back then and started doing some online marketing, internet marketing. I was doing e-newsletter databases. Like a lot of you, I discovered that my local university and technical colleges really hadn't kept up with the pace on new and digital marketing and emerging technologies. So I went online looking for my training. And I've really been working earnestly in social media since early 2008. At that time, I started in video marketing. I was working on YouTube marketing. And the specialist that I was working with from America online said to me, Zoe, Twitter is going to be huge. And can just any of you tell me, those of you that are using Twitter, just pop it in the chat box there for me. See if we can get a handle on how many people are using Twitter. Not many? Okay. And it's, you know, Twitter is like text messaging on the internet. It's 140 characters, very short, sharp messages. And I looked at it and thought, you know, this is really very cluttered. We had celebrities carrying on relationships and getting themselves into trouble. And I thought, how can this possibly benefit my business? So rather than tell the guru she was wrong, I set about to prove it. And I jumped on Twitter, and in my first 2 weeks, not only did I make a sale for my internet marketing company that was worth some $2,000 in commission for me, but I also connected with someone who was an idol of mine in internet marketing. They were in New York. They retweeted one of my training videos. And when I thanked them for doing that publicly, they said, we're happy to share and we welcome good content. Do you have any more? And that really was my light bulb moment in social media marketing, because I realized there and then the power of social media lay in the perception of our brand in the marketplace. And I'll repeat that, the perception of our brand in the marketplace. Because that particular marketer's perception of me and my brand and my product, my service and my business was exactly what I had put on the internet. And I ask you to think about your own business and your own personal brand. If you're here as a marketing professional today, think, how does your business look on the internet? When people are Googling your product or brand or service, what are they finding? Because for me, social media now has become non-negotiable. It's not, are we going to do social media marketing? Not. It's how are we going to control our brand persona and our brand perception in the marketplace on this communication method. Now, I've gone on to grow a Twitter following in excess of 60,000 followers. We've had over 125,000 views on that YouTube channel. We now have multiple YouTube channels I use for my marketing. And I've developed social media training programs, speaking at keynote speakers and conferences in 7 countries. I have an online and virtual community and global audiences of thousands. For me, though, I get to bury myself in social media. As business owners, professionals, you don't. You have a business to run, you have other marketing that you're integrating, and I imagine a lot of you are feeling quite stressed about social media. Would that be true? Just pop it into the chat box there or question. How do you feel about social media marketing at the moment? Are you already using it? Are you confused, stressed, delighted, excited? What, in one word, how do you feel about your social media and social media marketing for your business right now? Because that will help me in moving forward with today's presentation. When it comes to using social media marketing, I might add, I've got a few of you adding there, terrified. Okay, you're in the right place. Okay, it can get very stressful. According to Wikipedia, you'll see on the screen, their definition of social media is just social media uses internet and web-based technologies to transform broadcast media, so monologues, one to many, into social media dialogues, many to many. In real terms, what that means for us as business professionals is we have gone from an atmosphere where we would take our brand message and our advertising and we would broadcast that or push it out to the marketplace. Very carefully controlled in our brand images and our slogans and our logos and our calls to action. Now we've come into this interactive, two-way social sharing communication medium where we may be pushing our messages out, but our community is not only responding to those. In many cases, our community is creating our marketing messages. They are talking about your product, business, and service on social media. Sometimes it's really fantastic, and sometimes it's not so great. And either way, you've lost a little bit of control over your marketing messages because your social communities are working on those marketing messages, okay? So it's vital we think about social media as a communication medium that is just sharing user-generated content. For us as businesses, it's our business content and marketing messages, but we need to share those in a social context if we really want to leverage the power of social media. And when you think of it this way, you may have noticed in the introduction, you know, I'm not 21. I didn't grow up with this technology. I'm in my early 40s. And when I look at the development of technology over recent years, it is quite startling for me to think when I was back in high school, we got our first computer and it was half the size of the room. We had little punch cards that we coloured in with pencil and popped them into the computer and it would say 1 + 1 = 2. And I thought it was absolutely awesome. I thought this technology was amazing that a computer could think. Of course, it couldn't think, and we've all heard the rubbish in, rubbish out. The computer is only good as the person driving it. But even last night, I was watching aeroplanes now that are unmanned and are being intuitive, and if you like, have gone to that next step of being able to go through a decision basis. So in the last sort of 2 decades, we've gone from starting with those huge clunky computers to having a computer that you can access any person who has an internet connection anywhere in the world, and that computer sits in the palm of our hands. That computer is called your mobiles or your cell phones, and I cannot imagine my life right now without my iPhone. So we've gone from the technology days where we were sending smoke signals and arrows through to telexes, radios, televisions, and emails and onto mobile phones. The next step is we are now integrating that technology with our everyday life. Start thinking about how we're interacting with surfaces and Google goggles and those sorts of things where virtual communications are becoming part of our real communications. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, for businesses. When we have a mass market using the communication tools, if we want to get our brand, product, and service messages to those clients and potential clients, we need to go where the people are. We need to use the technologies to communicate that they are using to communicate. And we need to make it as easy as possible for them to connect with us and our brand and marketing messages. I love this graphic by a company called Retrievo. So you can look it up on the net, Retrievo. They've got some great what are called infographics. So that's where we take information and quite often statistical information and display it visually. They're very powerful in my brand marketing because my market is responding to images, not so much the numbers anymore because we're all quite overwhelmed and busy. But when you look at this particular graphic, it talks about can you be interrupted for an electronic message at any time. And the green columns that you see are the age under 25s that they surveyed, and the blue columns are those over 25. I thought it was interesting they cut the generation gap there at 25s, because obviously there's many of us using technology that are well over the 25 mark. But you'll notice that it's not just the more mature members of the survey, if you like, that were talking about using these technologies. So this particular question was, can you be interrupted for an electronic message at any time? The first column is during a meeting. And it's probably no surprise to anybody that's attended a meeting recently that some 33% of respondents said yes, they would happily be interrupted. In fact, I encourage tweeting at my training events and throughout this webinar. You'll notice down the bottom here I actually have our Twitter handle at Social Media SCUT. And if you are talking about the webinar or watching this later on the recording, then I encourage you to use the hashtag SMSC. So I'm actually encouraging people to be using electronic messaging and almost distracting them, if you like, from my trainings. I do that because that's the way my market wants to interact, but also to leverage the power of the people using my training by utilizing the digital technologies and social media technologies that I'm training on. It makes sense that if I'm going to promote how to use social media marketing in your business, that I use it in my business. The next column across, however, was during a meal. And 49% of those under 25 surveyed said they were happy to take an electronic message during a meal. Now, I come from an era where my father wouldn't even allow us to speak during a meal, let alone have the television on or our mobile phones and be responding to those messages during a meal. How often I'm seeing posts from my Facebook friends, they're taking photos of their meals, posting it and running a commentary while they're out on their date night with their significant other. And in fact, having free Wi-Fi at restaurants and eating establishments has become an absolute must. We've had people checking into our establishments while they're doing those social activities, such as eating a meal or having a few drinks. You'll notice the over 25, so 27%, or nearly a third of those polled, would agree with that statement as well. Now, the next one across shocked me. For those of you that can't see it on the screen, it says during sex. I hope we're all open-minded. But seriously, out of those responded, some 17% said they were happy to be interrupted by an electronic message at that time. Have we really got to the stage that we cannot leave our mobile phones long enough? And you notice that the older and the younger, there wasn't a lot of difference there. I don't understand that one, don't get me. The next one, however, I must admit to being guilty to. It says on the John, or for the Australians and New Zealanders, on the toilet. And when 36% of us are happily taking messages on the toilet, I'm not sure our work colleagues and family and friends want to know that. The reality is, for me, though, it's a time that I'm slipping some time in my day and I'm grabbing messages when I've got a few minutes to myself. As a mum and stepmom to 5 teenagers, they're now from 18 to 28, time becomes a precious commodity. And actually having the time to go to the bathroom on your own is unusual if you have younger children. But to have that mobile phone in your hand the whole time is startling when you think about it. The last column, however, when you look at that, 33% of those under 25 and 62% of those over 25 that were polled said they don't like interruptions. So we don't have to like the technology. We don't have to like the invasiveness at times of it to still be using it. Because I think we have an expectation now of this now generation. We will respond. And in businesses, it's really important, how do we control that flow of information and a consumer expectation that they can be interrupted at any time and they expect to get service back very, very quickly, and not have this technology take over our lives. I think it's vitally important as business owners and professionals that you really think about, how am I separating my personal and business use of this technology? What boundaries am I setting around the use of the technology? And I know in our household we had a technology agreement with the teenagers as to what would happen with mobile phones. They were put to the side and on silent when we had family dinners, for etc. So we felt we reclaimed some control of this technology. Now, as business marketers, there should have been a light bulb go up there. If your clients, potential clients' marketplace, whether they like it or not, are using these technologies, are on their mobile phones, are getting notifications from their social media sites and favorite games and apps pretty much all of the time, a third of them even when they're sitting in the bathroom, And it says to me that there's a huge opportunity there for businesses. And what I see most of the time is that businesses just go, okay, we need to do social media. And they'll get the youngest person in the organization, perhaps a work experience person, intern or cadet, to set up a Facebook page with no idea at all as to why they're doing it, how they're going to make it effective, and how they will measure if they're actually being effective or measure their results. Social media marketing is not free. Okay? It's a medium you can use for very low or no cost to access the technology, but you have a time commitment. You're going to learn some new skills. If you are posting and setting up the accounts, you're going to need to put some time in to do those, or you're going to need to pay some professionals to help you to set those up, to manage it, to get some graphics, etc. So I want you to think carefully as a business strategy, marketing, and a business expense. How am I going to rationalize this either to myself if I own the business or to my management if I manage this on behalf of somebody else? So I'm going to encourage you to download what you see on the screen is my Social Media for Business checklist. It's your 7 shortcut steps to using social media in your business marketing. And you'll find it, the main opt-in there is on socialmediashortcut.com, socialmediashortcut.com, and simply sign up for my free business checklist. But today we're going to go through the 7 steps in that checklist strategically and help you to really maximize social media for your business. So take out a pen and paper and let's get to work. The very first thing we need to do is set your objectives. And this is simply, what am I trying to achieve for my business marketing from social media? Now, in the question or chat box there, does anybody know this straight away? If I had a social media wand and I could say to you today, I'm going to make your social media produce this, do this, or enable this for your business today, what is your this? What is that objective? Now, I'll give you some examples. Are you trying to drive leads to your website? Are you trying to set up a platform where you can get testimonials or referrals? Are you trying to share quality information with your ideal target markets to position yourself as a leader in your industry? Are you trying to get people to opt in for a free offer or sign up for a training or event? Or are you simply trying to optimize the opportunity for your business to be found in Google search or in search engines generally? It's called search engine optimization, and certainly social media has a huge role to play in that in today's current technology-based climate. Any of those messages coming through? Quite a few of you. Now, a couple of you have said, it all sounds good. I want to do it all. And therein lies the problem. If you try to achieve everything in general with your social media marketing, you'll achieve nothing in particular. So if you only get one thing out of today's webinar, I want it to be this. I want you to set your primary objective. The most important thing that I want to achieve with social media is this. Now, you may have more than one objective, and that's okay, but I encourage you to not have more than 3. Because if you're focusing on trying to achieve more than 3 things at once, you'll just confuse yourself and you will confuse your marketplace in your marketing and your branding. So those key ones need to be measurable as well. So am I trying to drive leads to my website? How many leads do I currently have? And how many leads on a daily, weekly, monthly basis would I like that to get to, for instance? The second one is setting your target market. Now, in marketing, we always say you should know your target market. You need a target niche that's an inch wide and a mile deep. You've probably heard that before. And 99% of business owners that come to me go, oh, Zoe, our market is so broad. We have people of all different age groups and different mindsets and different reasons for using our business. We sell to people who are 90 and 19. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is, if you have a specific objective, you also need to have a specific person in mind. Because social media is social, or inherently should be. It's your business interacting with people. So I want you to get to the stage where you can design your ideal persona. Spend a lot of time after this webinar creating the perfect person that you want to market to on social media. Exactly who are you marketing to? Get to the stage that you can give them a name. If they are both male and female, your market, then call them Sam or Peter or something that will work for non-gender specific. But narrow down to exactly who you're trying to market to. Now, these are the type of clients that light you up from the inside. They're profitable. They're the ones that are using social media and will happily refer you to their family and friends and social circles. I always say to business owners, when you're looking at this target persona, when you aim at a dartboard, where do you aim? It's the bullseye, right? It's the bullseye right in the middle. Okay, so occasionally if you play darts like I do, you'll aim at that bullseye and you'll miss. It'll go kind of everywhere but the bullseye, but we start aiming at the bullseye. Now, if your market changed a little bit, you hit a 13 or a 2 in your darts game, then you need to change your strategy, and that may change over time as you tweak your campaigns, but you really need to know who you're speaking to. And again, if you try to appeal to everybody in general, you'll appeal to nobody in particular. It makes sense, but when you sit down to do this, it's quite a difficult process. So think about now, if you already have one client that you think is wonderful, if you could just bottle them and clone them, that would be amazing for your business. Look at what the characteristics are of that particular client and why they work so well for your business. Do they have specific interests or motivations? Are they stressed? Are they tired? Are they overwhelmed? Why are they looking for your business or product or service? And what is it about your unique selling proposition that perfectly suits that target market? Because then when we come to our marketing, we're going to be marketing and creating content aimed specifically at that target persona. Now, before we get to setting up your social media marketing, before we dive into actually creating content, you need to think very carefully about your social media brand and the voice that your company and business is going to have in social media. Are you branding yourself? If you are your business, a professional speaker, for instance, or someone like me, I do a lot of consultancy work, you're going to brand yourself within your business, or are you very much branding on a business name? If you're branding on a business name, who will be making the social media tweets and posts and comments? And are you going to make that person a representative of your business, or will your voice always be very much the business? You're speaking from the business to your clients. Now, personalizing your message in social media is very important, but your brand can take on a voice and your business can take on a voice. It's important you set this from day one. I'm going to give you, if you stay listening, right towards the end of today's webinar, I'm going to show you a little tool to go and help you with selecting your social media names and really delving into that brand voice that will assist you. Once you have that brand voice, you need to make sure that it's used across all of your social media sites. So once you know what you're trying to achieve, who you're trying to talk to, you've established your brand voice, you need to go and set up the social media sites, starting with the sites that your perfect target persona are using the most. Because it makes sense if you're trying to reach a particular client base, you go to the spots that they're actually communicating on. So for the vast majority of companies starting in social media marketing, you will find that you'll have potential clients on Facebook. It's the largest of the social networks, some 1.2 billion members worldwide now. And most people are surprised to find that the largest demographic in the majority of countries is actually the 25 to 34-year-olds. I know in Australia here our fastest growing demographic are the 55-year plus females and the 50-year plus males. So a site I will give you to go and have a look at for the demographics on each of the social media sites that is country specific is called Social Bakers. So SOCIALBAKERS, Social Bakers. And again, that is repeated in my Social Media for Business checklist that you can download at socialmediashortcut.com. In setting up your social media sites professionally, it's important you think about your brand voice. So what photos are we going to use in our cover photos and header images? What are we going to use for our logo and profile picture? And I do think it's important to have a logo and profile picture that's consistent through all of your social media sites. What is our headline or tagline going to be? And what is our story? So our about statement or about us. In between there, though, and a very important step that a lot of businesses miss is, what is our bio? What is our short description or story? You know, that one sentence, your elevator pitch, whatever it is, that within 3 to 7 seconds immediately says to your target market what is in it for them. If they connect with you, if they like your Facebook page or follow your LinkedIn company page, what are they going to get from it? Because we're in a world now where your consumers and potential clients are all thinking about, if I connect with this business, what's in it for me? We're busy and we're in a hurry. We're also so overly promoted to. I don't suggest you tell anyone to sign up for a database or subscribe to your newsletter, because we all have too many of them. Instead, give them a reason to get on your database. You know, a reason that will benefit them by actually receiving your messages. And you'll notice in receiving my social media for business checklist, I'm giving you 7 valuable steps with resources that will help you get started in social media for your business right now. But you will also receive follow-up emails from me that delve into each of those steps in greater depth, that make you aware of free trainings like this one that are coming up. And I offer a lot of value totally for free to my marketplace, because I know if you value the free training that I'm putting out there, you're going to share that with your family and friends, and a percentage of you will become my paying clients, because you'll see the value in my feeder information, as I call it, and say, you know what, I'd like to work more closely with Zoe, spend more time with her, or specifically just on my business. You do that through setting up your sites professionally, but then, of course, providing great content. Now, I see a lot of people when they come to social media marketing, they just start blasting their brand messages and they just start advertising on the site. It's called social media marketing for a reason. You need to socialize your content. You need to get into conversations. You need to be posting content consistently. And for most of the social media sites, that's an average of 1 post a day. In fact, on Facebook, brand marketing, the maximum engagement occurs when you post between 1 post a day and once every 2nd day. Now, it needs to be relevant to your target market. I have some clients very effectively posting 3 times a day, and I have other clients that find once every 2nd day is enough for their market. Whatever it is, that content needs to be delivered consistently and at a time when your target market is most likely to be online. So you need to spend some time in not just posting the content, but also posting, responding, connecting, messaging back to people. Now, that can take time. So you need to be really strategic here about, what am I trying to achieve and who are we trying to connect to? I also recommend that you spend some time in setting up not just your social media strategy, but a social media policy, which is, how are we going to post, who is going to post, what are we going to post, does it need approval, and when is it going to be posted and through what technology? What do we do if something negative is said about our brand or our business? How do we respond? And really be ready before you start marketing to have those brand messages and responses. Because it is Murphy's Law, you know, if you're prepared for great feedback, you know, an avalanche of emails coming through, or if you're prepared for negative feedback, knowing if you've got people that are maybe not so happy with your business, or potential for people to start leveraging your business and your social media just to get on their own soapbox, then it's important you know how to respond and have a plan in place, and empower your staff that are doing your social media marketing to do that as well. I do recommend some great tools to do that, and in the social media for business checklist, I list my top tools as well as going into those in my free emails. And of course, once you've done all of this, you need to have a way of analyzing your performance. And I say, test, tweak, track, repeat. So you're always testing things. You're always making them a little bit better. You track the response that you get to those, and then you repeat it again. We start with our best guess, realistically, in knowing who our target market is. We start with our best guess in terms of timing. You know, I go and look at, what data do I have? If you're on Facebook already, look at your Facebook insights. If you're already sending out e-newsletters to your database, look at when people are clicking on those emails? When are they opening your emails? When are people buying your products? What days of the week and what time? When are you getting posts on your social media sites? When are people actually commenting, liking, and sharing? Because that says to me that's when your audience is online and they're ready to take the actions that you want to encourage them to take. Now, as you progress and do some more social media marketing, I encourage you to use some great tools. Google Analytics are a must-have on your website. Google Alerts, so google.com/alerts, ALERTS. It's also a great tool to find out when your name, your brand, your business name is being mentioned for the first time in a Google search. And I also use one of my key social media marketing tools as a management tool and for analytics as well. And that one I'm happy to recommend is called Hootsuite. So Hoot as in owl, suite as in hotel suite, HOOTSUITE.com, Hootsuite.com. And again, you have the link to that tool in the Social Media for Business checklist. Now, I promised you if you stayed towards the end that I would give you another really cool tool when you're looking at branding your business. And this one is called Knowem.com. Now, Knowem.com, KNOWEM.com, is a site where you can go on and put a search query in, and it will tell you if that particular name is available across a multitude of social networks. It will also let you know if a particular website or domain name is available. So if you're just starting your business or you're planning a new business, or perhaps your social media has been a little bit ad hoc and it's a little bit messy right now and you have no consistency in your social media brand and names, then I encourage you to come in and Knowem and look. Maybe it's time we choose one brand name that we can use across all of the social media and keep it really consistent. I will tell you that Twitter is the most restrictive because you are limited to 15 characters in your Twitter profile or handle name. So if you can get the name into 15 characters, great. If you can't, you'll notice what I did. We are facebook.com/social media shortcut. Our website is socialmediashortcut.com. On LinkedIn, we're Social Media Shortcut. On Google Plus, we're Social Media Shortcut. But on Twitter, we're Social Media SCUT. So we're Social Media S-Cut because the social media was important, but I couldn't quite get shortcut into that 15 character limit. So it still looks good, it's consistent, and if people are typing in the beginning of my name, Social Media Shortcut, it comes up as an obvious choice. So while it's not perfect for me, it is very easy for me to take that name and integrate it in my social media marketing and still feel very confident that it gives a good impression of my business and it's relatively intuitive for my market to find. And that is the last step in terms of your social media strategy. Making sure that, 1, you identify your top outcomes, objectives, and priorities to achieve. 2, identify your target market by really nailing down into your ideal person, your ideal persona. Remember, give them a name and get to know them very, very well. Then you need to do some research on finding out where that particular person or that type of people are interacting on social media. You need to establish your brand voice and your brand images, including the structure, your photos, your names, and remember, not just the About Me story, but a bio or short description as well that includes the what's in it for me for your target market. Then and only then should you be looking at setting up your social media accounts professionally, and there is a checklist on doing that at socialmediashortcut.com if you download the Social Media for Business checklist. Once you're up and creating content, I think it's important that you establish your posting and management schedule. Remember, we need quality content that's balanced and relevant to your target audience, posted consistently at a time when your audience is most likely to be online and most likely to take the action you want them to take. Now, if that for you, like me, is of a late evening and over the weekends, then you are going to want some tools to assist you with that so social media doesn't have to take over your life. And then by setting your key performance indicator and analyzing your results through any medium of tools, you can look at how have we done in the last month? What did we do really well and do more of it? What do we need to do less of? And what tweaks do we need to make sure that we're being strategic about our social media and we're being really effective? At the end of the day, you don't want the world's best Facebook page, you want the world's best business. And by really being strategic about your social media marketing, you'll be able to maximize the communication tool in a way that not only will connect you with your clients, but will absolutely delight them. Now, I've given you my online resources, and I will encourage you to look at the YouTube channel as well as the whole of socialmediashortcut.com. I do a lot of hands-on laptop trainings where you can come into a very small group environment with me, and I walk you through just one specific social network for your business. Now, I have a lot of my audience that are in the USA and the UK and throughout Europe that said to me, Zoe, most of your trainings are run in Australia, your live training events. I am traveling throughout the USA for nearly all of October. But even then, I've had a lot of people say to me, Zoe, I can't get specifically to Phoenix or Chicago or Las Vegas or somewhere where you're having a live event. Do you have an online option? And I'm really excited to say that I've got a brand new Facebook for Business for Beginners online virtual workshop. So this is not just a webinar. This is 3 hours on a specific day. It's Friday, October the 18th from 9 a.m. to midnight on Pacific Daylight Time. So we're looking Pacific Time USA for those. Now, it is a USA friendly time, obviously, because I will be in America at the time, and I'll actually be coming to you live from Phoenix, but of course you can view this anywhere in the world. I'll be asking you to sit in with your laptop. Now, it is a paid training, but I'm going to make this an absolute no-brainer for you. So for those of you that are in other parts of the world, if you'd like to do the virtual workshop, you are most welcome to sign up. For the Australians, it's a somewhat difficult time in the middle of the night. But if you would prefer to watch the recording, and it's 3 hours where I go in and I'm very interactive in what I'm doing, we're going to be hands-on, looking at your personal Facebook strategy, separating your personal and your business life. Then we're going to walk through actually setting up a Facebook page. If you already have a Facebook page for your business, I'm going to show you how to optimize that and make sure it's conforming to Facebook's rules and regulations. And I'm going to give you a heads up on the brand new Facebook feed that's coming. It's rolling out right now as we speak to some developers around the world. And I'm going to show you how it's going to massively change the strategy that you're using in your Facebook marketing. So if you'd like to sign up for the workshop, by all means you can, and just view the recording, but be mindful of the fact that everyone who's at the workshop virtually but live on the day will be able to be asking me their questions and having their questions answered while we're in the workshop room. You'll be seeing me on a webcam. It's through Webinars on Air technology. Well, I'll actually be teaching from the front of the room and sharing my PowerPoint presentation as well. All participants will get a copy of the presentation as well as having access to the recorded training following the online. Now, my general full-day trainings, when I come in and do Facebook for marketing, my half-day trainings, you're normally looking at about the $200 to half-day training, about $200, full days $400, $500 to come and work with me individually in a relatively small group setting. So in this online workshop, to be charging you about $200 would be, you're going to get a similar experience, except you don't even have to travel, so there's no inherent cost to it other than making sure you have a good, reliable internet connection and a computer to work on during the day. But instead of that, we've actually set this price because we can have a few more people in the training, but I can tell you it is still very limited numbers because it is so hands-on. So complete details are available. You'll see the link there at tinyurl.com/FB online workshop. I can tell you right now you can go there and sign up for $97 through an Eventbrite listing, which for me, when you work that out, that's less than $33 an hour to access one of the world's leading social media specialists to work with you in a small group setting, hands-on, from the comfort of your own home to get your Facebook marketing up and running. But for all of you that have invested the time to watch this webinar today and stay right through to the end of this recording, I'd like to make this a complete no-brainer for you. If you go to that link right now, and you'll see there's an opportunity to enter a promo or discount code. If you enter the promotional code SMSC50, okay, SMSC50, so 50, you will actually receive $50 off the price. That's right, we're going to make it even less than half the price for you guys. So you will only be paying $47 for 3 hours of pure hands-on content delivered virtually to you from your own home or office, wherever you've got. And I will recommend you get somewhere where you've got really good internet signal, that you have a screen and a desk that you're comfortable in working with, because we're going to be sitting there for 3 hours. I will give you time to get up and go to the restroom and have some breaks and grab what we call a cuppa here, but grab a cup of joe as well. And we'll be spending the rest of the time hands-on. I'm going to invite you to be asking questions, getting to know the other people in the virtual workshop as well. And I'm also going to give you an opportunity to access free training post that event, where you can get direct access to me in a secret Facebook group and online members community for 30 days for free for absolutely no additional cost. So that online community is called the Social Media Success Squad, and it is regularly priced at $47 a month anyway. So you're getting that value for free. So you take up the promo code and you're pretty much getting the workshop for $0. Now, again, it is super limited in numbers because I will be running this as a hands-on workshop. So I expect you to have lots of questions for me, and I want to spend enough time on each of your individual businesses and getting to know you so you really maximize your time in the workshop. Now, for those of you that said, Zoe, my Facebook marketing is a little more advanced, maybe I'm looking more at Google Plus or YouTube or Twitter or advanced Facebook marketing, I do offer a whole host of live in-person trainings. We also offer a lot of free webinar trainings like this one that delve into specific social media sites. I also work with a number of creative agencies, and I'm very happy to say that The Creative Collective, you'll find that thecreativecollective.com.au offer a host of webinars, not just in social media marketing, but in using digital technology and getting your business online. So I encourage you to check out their resources as well. But if you have any questions, be stopping by the Facebook page, facebook.com/social media shortcut. If you have questions following today's training, or you would like to connect with me and work further with me, if you're looking for a complete listing of our live in-person events and webinar trainings, you'll find them all over at the website. The link is there on your screen, socialmediashortcut.com/events. Okay, so those events are being held throughout Australia. As I said, we have some live events in the USA right now. And then, of course, we have our virtual events, which are continually being developed. So if you have a specific social media need or a specific network that you really would love some training in, get in contact with us. Let the team know at support@socialmediashortcut.com, or come and connect on any of our social media sites. We spend a lot of time on the Facebook page creating great resources. All of our events are listed there as well, along with the free webinars. And I encourage all of you, of course, to connect with socialmediashortcut.com following this training. Go and download your Social Media for Business checklist with the free 7 shortcut steps to really maximizing social media marketing for business. I look forward to seeing you on the social media sites and hearing your stories of success with social media marketing. Have an awesome day.